Hi guys, welcome to Carol's Universe. It's tarot readings from the heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your week ahead reading. Just to let you know how the reading's going to go, we do your weekly check-in first. Then we have a look at more specifically your work, stroke finance, and we also have a look at your love life during the week. I'd like to say, guys, thanks ever so much for joining me this week for your reading. And yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So we're going to do this week your week ahead reading. We're looking at the 8th through to the 14th of June 2020. For your reading, guys, the cards that we are using are the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. Those cards will be looking at your general situation for the week. We're looking at the Light Seers Tarot for your career, and the Tarot Grand Lux for Love by Chira Marchetti. For spiritual advice, we're using my Crazy Sexy Love Notes by Chris Carr. Really love this deck. Okay, sit back, guys, and enjoy. Hi, Gemini. Welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot readings from the heart. So we're still in your birthday month, so you're up again first, guys, for this week. So we are looking at, once again, your general between the 8th and the 14th of June 2020, your career and also love. So let's start. Okay then, Gemini, let's have a look at your reading. So let's have a look at the general energy around you guys. 8 to the 14th, Judgment. Wow, could be liberation from something with the Judgment card. Judgment card often indicates liberation or something that is finally coming to bear, or this could be a transformation or a rebirth or some form of a resurrection. When we look at the Judgment card as being resurrection, what we're really saying is that something from the past could be coming back around, or something that wasn't addressed or that hasn't been addressed could now be addressed. It's coming through. This is a call to action, is the Judgment energy when that card shows up. This can show people from the past coming back with the Judgment energy showing here. This could be about heeding a warning, for example, or it could be a surprising telephone call, that type of thing. Let's have a look at the next one here. Wow, okay, so we do have an ending. There's a change coming in here. There's a change, there's a transformation ending. You've got Judgment and the Death card. Judgment ruled by Pluto. Rebirth, death and rebirth. So we've got death and rebirth here. Rebirth and I mean, we could have read it sort of, you know, the rebirth and then the death, but that wouldn't make any sense. You've got to have death in order to have a rebirth. So I'm seeing death and rebirth here for you guys generally over the next sort of few days between the 8th and the 14th of June. What have we got here now? Now, yeah, I mean, there is some sadness around this. There is some sadness around this. And when I read the cards, I try to read in real time, like in the 21st century way of reading it. I'm not going to read it in any other way than that. So, yeah, there is a change. There's a death and a rebirth. It almost feels like you're... there's a liberation here, but there is sadness, I think. I think there is some regret with this, nevertheless. And there always is, isn't there? Even though there's some form of an ending happening for Gemini here, and, you know, there's a rebirth, there's some big changes happening here. Some of you guys with the Judgment card, it's about making a really big decision as well, maybe to end something here. However you want to look at that, there's death, there's rebirth. There is some sadness with that because you've got the Five of Cups. There's loss. There's a sense of regret at having to do something there. The Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man could be taking a step back to review a situation. The Hanged Man can also be sacrificing. So it may be that some of you guys are feeling really sad. Maybe there's something that there's loss and sacrifice here. So there's a sense of feeling regret at having to sacrifice something. And I think that whatever it is that is ending here, and whatever it is that is kind of your... Because I would probably say that this isn't about rebirth with the Judgment energy, just judging by the other cards that are showing up. I would probably say that, you know, we could have read the Hangman and said that maybe you were being elevated to a, but that would be more like a higher consciousness, because the Hangman is ruled by Neptune, and that's the planet of illusion and fantasy and dreams and that type of thing. It's about elevating your consciousness away from perhaps, you know, the more sort of mundane or grounded elements of life on a day-to-day basis. But what I'd say here is my immediate reaction to these cards, Gemini, is that we've got this liberation. So it feels like you're being liberated, and it also feels that for some of you guys, if we want to look at other meanings of the cards, that it's about being called. Now is the time, because Judgment, if you were to do a timing question with Judgment to say, for example, when will I be getting my check through the post, that card could either mean now, or it could mean in 20 days, or it could mean on the 20th of the month. So if you ever ask a question, the majors also tell timing as well, and Judgment can definitely be now, within 20 days, or the 20th of the month. So it could be more than anything that now is the time. I'm going to go with that line on this Judgment card, that now is the time as well. You're being called now to end something in your life. So it might be saying as well that in this week you're definitely being called to end something here. And there may be some losses and regrets, because you're having to sacrifice something that you don't necessarily want to have to sacrifice, with the Hangman energy showing here. I do see you guys having to sacrifice something in order to take a new path. Okay, so, and some of you guys, it could also be, if you want to read it another way as well, is that I feel that this is a call to action more than anything. Even though this is death and rebirth here as well, for some of you guys, it's more, for me, there's a call to action with the Judgment energy. You're being called, I think, to end something, because the card comes first. So I would say that you're being called now, in between the 8th and the 14th, to end something in your life. Some of you guys, there's two ways to look at this. Some of you guys may be feeling very sad about this. You really don't want it, because that Death card, whatever it is that you're ending here, Gemini, you're giving up with the 3 cups here, because 3 cups means to have to give something up. All right, sometimes it's the giving up of something that made you happy, because it's the 3 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups as a standalone card is a card that references feeling happy about something. So some of you guys may be feeling sad because you're having to give up something that made you feel good, or maybe something that made you feel complete or fulfilled on a certain level here. Some of you guys with the Hangman may take a little bit of a pause before you take action, or before you move forward with the Page, because the Page of Wands, that'll be your new direction here with the Page of Wands energy. But that new direction will come after you've ended whatever the death is here. And some of you guys may take a little bit of a pause to reflect on how you're going to do it, or whether you want to do it, or whether now is the time, despite receiving these warnings and these, not warnings, but these kind of, you know, signs, if you like, receiving the signs from the Judgment energy that now is the time to change, now is the time to end something. And some of you guys will be feeling sad, because it means that you're going to have to make a sacrifice in order to start on a new path with the Page of Wands. So I think the general message for the week, Gemini, is all about a call to action now, and it's a case of whether you yield that call or not. But I think there's a call to action now to actually change something within your life, and though it might be disheartening and sad, and you're having to give something up that you really liked, some of you guys, I feel that, you know, the sadness is having to surrender for a new path. But I think in the end, if you're being called to do something now, then there is possibly a chance that this is what the universe is really trying to alert you, that there is actually this new path, this new opportunity that you could be pursuing right now, but now is the time to do it. So it might be that, really looking between the lines, that even though you are disheartened and you feel sad, and some of you guys hesitate with the Hangman showing here before, you know, taking this opportunity, pursuing this new path, and some of you guys are really sad at having to sacrifice what you love in order to take this new path. Even though it might feel difficult at the time, it may be simply that whatever you're sacrificing now is for the greater good, because I actually think it's going to be for the greater good. It might not look like it now, Gemini, but I actually think in the long term it will be for the greater good. Let's have a look at the next one. So we look at your career. We've got Justice energy showing here. So Justice can be rewards when you get that card. Justice could be a reward for some good work that you've done, or some form of acknowledgement. But also it can be that the scales are now being balanced. Its karma is being fulfilled. So it's getting back whatever you've put in with the Justice energy. Justice could also be kind of having to make some very big decisions as well. The Two of Cups. So I feel that there is some form of a legal contract here being signed, because the Justice and the Two of Cups, especially in things like work or finances, they can represent legal contracts. So it feels like a contract is finally being signed here with Justice and the Two of Cups energy showing there. Yeah, with an establishment, the Emperor. So I'm seeing a legal contract finally coming through from an establishment in terms of work. Let's have a look at the next one. Three of Cups. So we've got the partnership here, or just celebrations. There's a lot of celebration going on here. Yeah, there's a lot of celebration here. Three of Pentacles energy showing here. Lots of celebration within work, or lots of celebration within, you know, partnerships and that, because the Three of Pentacles can be business partnerships here. So you're celebrating a new partnership basically, really, with that Three of Coins, because everything looks new to me. It could also be that if you are already in a job, this might be a promotion. I'm just seeing a contract here, a legal contract coming through, an establishment here. There's a celebration with that Three of Cups energy concerning a business partnership with the Three of Pentacles. So celebrating a business partnership here with the Three of Coins. So I'm just seeing a new job coming through, and celebrating a new partnership, a business partnership for some of you guys coming through. Finally, let's have a look at love. What's showing up for love? So we've got a High Priestess. High Priestess can be secrets or things that aren't spoken of, or sometimes a High Priestess can represent detachment. Let's have a look at the next one. The Eight of Pentacles energy showing here. The Eight of Coins, whenever I look at that card in terms of a love reading, for me, the card represents putting the work in. So you're putting effort into a relationship. The Six of Cups energy. So the Six of Cups energy in terms of a relationship. Sometimes this is a karmic relationship, like this is a soulmate relationship, and sometimes this can be something about the past. The Eight of Swords. I think that some of you guys are bound to the past. The past is binding you with this Eight of Swords energy showing here. I think it's stopping you from moving forward, Gemini, and that's you on the card. I think the past Six of Cups is stopping you, because actually that's not the 8, that's the 10, isn't it? 10 of Swords energy. See, the past, the 10 of Swords now. So the 10 of Swords for me is a card. Sorry, I thought it was the 8, because it looks like the 8, doesn't it, with the hands bound. But the 10 of Swords energy is, it can represent a couple of things. It can represent a painful ending coming in on a situation. The 10 of Swords can also represent surrendering or having to accept. Now this is you, the Knight of Swords there. So it may be that you're having to accept, or you're surrendering to the idea. Maybe there is a need to move forward with this Knight of Swords, because the Knight of Swords can also represent to exit something. So this is about you guys moving on or moving forward, and I feel that this is you guys surrendering to moving forward or moving on, because I feel that with the High Priestess showing here, I think that in love there is a sense of detachment, I would probably say, with that High Priestess energy. Possibly it's connecting in with putting any more effort into a past relationship, probably showing here, or focusing on the past maybe, because this is often the past. So to me, this looks like you've been kind of looking into the past here. Can you see how he's reading? He's studying. You've been studying the past. But I think that with the High Priestess energy showing here, I get the impression that some of you guys, and it's interesting because whenever I see the High Priestess, sometimes her book isn't clear. Like it's not open, or you can't see what's going on, but the scroll is like open here. I think that with the High Priestess, she's an interesting card because, as I say, at times she can represent secrecy, at times she can represent things that are really hidden, or things that she's forgotten herself, that type of thing, and at times it can represent somebody's intuition showing here as well. I mean, it could be that some of you guys, your intuition may be telling you that you need to really look into the past here. You need to surrender to moving forward here. Surrender with the, because he's surrendering to something is the Ten of Swords. He's giving in, he's not fighting it. So it feels like you're surrendering to pursuing something new within your life, but your intuition tells you that you need to be focusing or working on or looking into the past. Now that past may not even be a relationship. That past might be something to do with yourself. I'm going to clarify what that Six of Cups is actually. Let's have a look at what the Six of Cups is. Universe Spirit, what is this Six of Cups in 2 cards? What is this Six of Cups in 2 cards? Let's have a look. So the Six of Cups is the Ace of Swords. So it's something to do with truth, information, and the Chariot shows up here. So information, communication showing here. The Chariot could be a Cancerian perhaps showing here. Chariot is all about taking control as well. Do you know, it's interesting, but I think that this is, this makes me feel like this is an individual. The Chariot makes me feel like it's someone. It makes me feel like it's an individual, it's a person perhaps, because it's about getting the truth actually, getting the truth about the Chariot. It makes me feel that this is about a person, and this is why your intuition is telling you that you need to kind of really start looking into a situation that occurred in the past here. Okay, because I think that you guys accept with this Ten of Swords energy that you've got to move on, because the Ten of Swords is actually acceptance, that you've got to move on. But it may be that in order for you to move on, your intuition tells you, well, I've got to start kind of really looking into this situation in the past. So it looks like it is a past lover. It looks to me like some of you Geminis want to move on, and you've accepted that you've got to move on from the past. So acceptance of the Ten of Swords, that you've got to move on with the Six of Cups, with the Knight of Swords from the past with the Six of Cups. But before you can do that, your intuition might be saying to you, before I can move on from the past, because I've accepted with the Ten of Swords that I've got to move on Knight of Swords from the past to the Six of Cups, what I've got to do, my intuition is telling me that I need to learn. So this might be actually learning. I need to learn from the past. So that might be what it is. It might be saying to you, Gemini, that in terms of your love life, it's more about learning about who you are more than anything else. This feels like it was a situation that happened a long time ago. That with the High Priestess, you've said to yourself, my intuition tells me that I've got to learn from the past. Because in order to move on from the past, I've got to surrender, you know. So it feels like we could read this in all sorts of ways. Like there's something here that you've got to accept. There's something here that you've got to learn from in order for you to be able to move forward in terms of love. Perhaps pursue new relationships. Okay, because for me, this looks like it's all about getting the truth. So it's all about finding the truth, because the Ace of Swords can be clarity and finding the truth. Finding the truth. I feel that, and actually with that Chariot, I'm not going to read that like a person now. I actually feel that some of you guys, it may be that you've been torn in two directions, because the Chariot is a card that represents somebody who's torn in two directions. I mean, this could be a person. It might be about finding a truth about a Cancerian, or finding a truth about somebody who wasn't 100% in love. Charioteers are not kind of noted for, I mean, they are ruled by Cancer, the house of home and family. But also the Chariot can be, especially when it comes to like romantic relationships, this could be just a player or something like that. So they might be finding the truth on a particular person who is like that, who kind of demonstrates that kind of player energy, because the Chariot can easily be somebody who's got interests in different people. The Sphinxes are the different people that this person has. So this could easily be ruled as being probably a narcissist, if you like, with the Chariot energy, or just definitely a player. But it could also be with the Ace of Swords energy, because we're asking, well, what is this Six of Cups? Well, the Six of Cups could be, because I think it's to do with the past, and then we've got the clarifiers of the Six of Swords, the Ace of Swords. It's about finding the truth. So maybe this is about you finding the truth that enables you to move forward, because the Chariot also represents to move forward. So we can read the cards in all sorts of ways, which is what I tend to do on the YouTube videos. So we'll do this again for love. We'll say that this is you being intuitive. So I think that in love, this is a week of being intuitive, and your intuition may be telling you that you need to learn with the Eight of Pentacles from the past, with the Six of Coins, okay? Because I feel that you have surrendered with the Ten of Swords energy to the truth, which is that you've got to move on, Knight of Swords, which is you, from the past. But in order to move on from the past, you've got to learn from it first. So I think that there is a greater thing at play here for you Geminis. There's just a greater thing, it feels to me, at play here. That it feels to me some of you guys really, really do want to be in a place where you are in a really, really good relationship with someone, where you're in the perfect relationship, where you've met pretty much the perfect soulmate, the perfect life partner. But in order to have that, and I'm an advocate of this so much, there's so many people in life that want to jump from one relationship to the other and think it's as easy as pie to do that without putting the work in on themselves. So what they tend to find is that they keep going round and round and round in circles. So many times I have lots of clients that come to me and say, you know, what should I do about this, or what should I do about that? I keep getting involved with this type of person, or I keep getting involved with that type of person. Why do I keep moving? And I'm actually going to be putting out new videos on that, actually, onto the website. Why do people keep meeting the same people, you know, the same partners and that type of thing? That's going to be the new June. That'll be the new the new campaign for June, because like usually we release a campaign every month. Which has been very successful. So thanks everybody for buying, you know, from the website, and for purchasing the campaigns that we put out month by month. They've been really successful. Thank you. But what I'm trying to say here is that there is a learning curve here for Gemini, and I think that you really do recognize that you have surrendered, because the Ten of Swords here is telling you that you've surrendered. You've surrendered to, so you basically, the surrender of the Ten of Swords is acceptance. So you've accepted that you have to move on. That's you, Knight of Swords, from the past. But in order to move on, Knight of Swords, from the past of the Six of Cups, your intuition tells you, the High Priestess, that you've got to learn. Eight of Pentacles is learning from the past first, and that would make absolute sense to me. And it's true. In order for us to move forward and to really find true love and what we truly want and the perfect partner for us, we have to learn from the mistakes that we've made in the past. So therefore, this is all about getting the truth. Ace of Swords, finally, with the Ace of Swords energy, seeing the truth, getting clarity that allows us finally to take control of our lives and to move forward, which I think is very admirable. All right, let's have a quick look then at what your spiritual advice is. What came up? Be mindful with your money, honey. Something about money here. I don't really do money. I should really do money, but it would take another line of card to do that. I might do that for the next weekly reading, so we've covered everything then. So be mindful with your money, honey. And it says here, Gemini, are you spending above your means? Avoiding the reality of your bank account? Shopping to numb any negative feelings or pain? It may be time to clean up your relationship with money. Let go of the fear and shame around your finances and take responsibility for your future today. Any unwise decisions you've made in the past are behind you. Seek guidance where needed and keep the big picture of your financial well-being in mind. Remember, money saved is money earned. Fantastic. All right. That is your reading for the 8th to the 14th of June 2020. I'd like to say thanks everyone for joining me on Carol's Universe. If you'd like to purchase your own personal reading, just click on the link below. Besides that, or in the end screen. Besides that, have a great week, guys, and I will see you the following week. Take care. Bye-bye.